They said my phone was too hot. Probably because of this knowledge that I'm kicking. It's 10:04 or 10:06. Looking at two different clocks. Let me see if I can get this done in 10 minutes. I guess I got all of my steam out so I could just get to the facts. All right. So we're upcoming a new moon in Sidereal Leo. That is going to be what is called a chakra puja. If y'all got any time to research, I'm gonna put that in the chats. Chakra puja. It is the celebration of sex for the new moon. Okay, y'all can look that up. See, I'm not crazy. It's like I've been talking about sex magic for a very long time. But in Hindu mythology, they have a whole holiday specifically for fucking, right? Judeo-Christian society looks at sex as evil, but expect husbands and wives to have sex. So it's kind of conflicting and kind of confusing if your science is don't have sex but have sex. The purpose of this conversation is the psychological approach to dating. Understanding the difference between being in a relationship that's worthwhile versus being in a relationship that's going to waste your whole entire time. A relationship, a scale, an agreement, something that's mutual requires relief. It requires an offer. It requires service on equal measure. So you couldn't ever say, I'm doing for him, he ain't doing for me. You couldn't ever say, she's doing this and I'm not doing that. You see how both hands are involved. Like a relationship is rooted in help. Not one-sided help. You can know instantly if a relationship is going to be successful or a relationship is going to waste years and years off of your life. A person can be standing right in front of you. A person can be with you, but a person can be in what's called a fantasy. Now, some people say trauma bonds, but you never hear people call it fantasy bonds. Because a trauma bond, just like a fantasy bond, you ever see people on Instagram talking about this relationship that they got that's so wonderful? They met their person, they met Mr. Right, they just won on The Bachelor and Bachelorette. But sometime later, they back to their regular MO. Because, the dream wedding, walking down the aisle, doing y'all special dance moves, right? Dancing to walk it out, ended up walking out of her life 2 years later. Like, what? We get so caught up in ceremony, we get so caught up in the surface of relationships that the drive, the reason why you want a relationship is because you need help. The reason why that person want a relationship is because they need help. The ego would prevent you from even having this realization. Who can I help that can help me? It makes dating so much simpler and much more gratifying and fulfilling. Everybody got trauma. That means how you deal with trauma would mean how you show up. 99% of people who suffer trauma deal with it from a space of fantasy. When you was a child and your mom wasn't there, You develop habits such as sucking your thumb, going into a dream world, but you didn't realize that your mom was supposed to be doing that shit. Self-soothing comes from the facts of your mom's having postpartum depression that goes untreated and not being able to nurture you in the ways for which you were nurtured. So everybody does everything besides deal with that. People promote and propagate their fantasies more than they're trying to help you. So when you go on the first date, if a person can't be realistic in how they're able to pour in and how they're able and how they need help, I need help in this, but I'm able to offer that. I need help in this, but I'm able to offer that. I need help in this, but I'm able to offer that. I need help in this, but I'm able to offer that. Meaning that I put my effort towards the relationship, but I'm also vocal. Sometimes you be in a relationship and you don't communicate your needs and your wants because you're in a fantasy bond. A fantasy bond is when you're not doing the work for yourself, but you just imagine that a Cape Crusader gonna come and save you from your misery. Got a few more minutes. So the anima is the ideal male or the ideal masculine or the soul that lives within a woman. The animus is the ideal feminine or the ideal woman that lives within a man. When you dating, a person is seeing how close you are to their ideal partner. But that's not dating. That's projection. It's a mechanic. It's a understanding to your soul and the components of psychology that when you develop the relationship with the goddess within, that just is that. You don't project it on your wife. You don't project it on your girlfriend. You don't expect the woman in front of you to be your soul. So when you project in your anima or your animus, you're going into a relationship with all of these requirements. The reality is that all of those requirements could be met if you would just interface with your soul. It says it down here. The anima and the animus is the source of our creativity. Meaning that if you were to deal with your shit and do the things that you were supposed to do, you wouldn't have those requirements. You would have things to offer. So with those things to offer, you would find somebody that you like, that you respect, or that you want to help, and you give him them things, or you give her those things. But if you don't do the work or interface or do the shadow work to even understand the difference between your ideal mate and this stinking ass motherfucker in front of you that's going to be farting, that gotta wipe his ass after he take a shit, got a fucking belly, got a fupa, and ain't never going to be your ideal dream lover. But that's not about, that don't have shit to do with life anyways. You've been sold that and told that. Life about how can we make it? You know what I'm saying? How can we make it in this world together? Don't you need help? One's in the chat if you need help. Because I could be crazy. At some level, do you or do you not need help? It's funny, I did this video earlier. The ego will say that you don't need help. The ego will say that you don't need help. The ego will have you going on the first date trying to impress a bitch. Trying to impress a hoe. Yeah, I got this, I got that. Listen, if me and you have a first date, I'm going to tell you the shit that I need help with. I'm expecting you to tell me the shit that you need help with, so I can see if you crazy or not. Because a motherfucker acting like they don't need help, you crazy as shit to me. Millionaires and billionaires need help at some point. How the fuck you don't need help? You don't even got $100 in the bank. Talking about you don't need help. If you can't communicate and voice your help, then that's a result of your throat chakra. But your throat chakra is not an anomaly. You just don't activate your throat chakra because you want it. You got to activate your root, activate your sacral, get up out here, understand that everything comes in balance, give, receive, and then you easily communicate your needs, desires. And if a person say, I ain't got it, I ain't doing shit for you, that's good to know. Now I don't got to waste no time or energy around you. So I did this video. It was like the temperature too hot. Ended my live. I get on Instagram and the first thing I see is Irv Gotti talking about the sex that he had with Ashanti. And I'm telling you, if y'all can just get over y'all ego, find somebody that you want to help. Find somebody that can help you, right? You say, this is what we're trying to do. This is how we're helping each other. And then y'all fuck. No, don't be with nobody that you feel like you can't fuck. That's numero uno. Y'all got to get over and beyond playing sex games and sex manipulating games. If I give you this pussy, he ain't gonna like me. That's because y'all ain't doing nothing. Why would somebody just be around you after you done gave them some pussy and y'all don't have nothing tangible that y'all working towards? And him telling you about himself, his dreams and goals, don't mean that after he get the pussy, he mean that for you to help him achieve it. You obviously didn't say what you wanted to do to help him. So he gonna hit it and quit it. He gonna gas you up. He gonna blow you up like a balloon. Then he gonna pop your ass. Listen, Ashanti haven't made a hit song since she been with Irv Gotti. It ain't about Ashanti more than it is about Ashanti and Irv Gotti as a union. Listen, when you with somebody and you working together, like going to the studio and you fucking at the same time, now you got juice. You see it all over in entertainment. This is the shit that just popped into my mind. King Von became one of the hottest rappers because of his relationship with Asian Doll. Lil Durk in India. Beyonce and Jay-Z. They work and fuck. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this, or am I tripping? This is just shit that popped off on my head. I could do this all day. The Baby, once again, it's a million niggas like The Baby. You start fucking Danny Lee. Danny Lee been in the music industry for a long time. Not a long time, but relatively long enough that once you start having sex and working, like in your, like, whatever you want to do, fuck somebody in that area. If you in cosmetics, fuck a nigga that is a barber. If you do hair, your boyfriend should be a barber. That way, y'all can open up a barber and a hairdressing salon, and y'all can work together and y'all can fuck. Don't you be having work husbands and shit. Ain't that that's the craziest shit? What's the percentage that y'all getting sexually harassed at work? Help me out, cause I don't want to sound crazy on this goddamn internet. Or is it 0%? Do y'all not get sexually harassed at work? Cause I remember going to work It's an interesting thing. Interesting thing. But there goes my 10 minutes. I just wanted to kind of touch on the facts that dating ain't hard. Dating is dating is not something that should be compartmentalized. With your overall purpose in life. If you can understand your purpose and that person with you can understand your purpose, y'all should be in the same vehicle, going the same way,